What's up, everybody? Thank you for hanging out. This is Willie Barcena's Drop In. All right, I'm excited today because the gentleman that I have, the guest, we're there's this business. There's people that know each other. There's acquaintances. There's people like they fake know each other because it's Hollywood and Hollywood's so much bullshit. But this is the person that's here. I'm very excited. A lot of people are called legends, and that it gets thrown around a little too easy. But the gentleman here truly is a pioneer and a legend, man. And I'm excited to have him here, and we're gonna know more about him. Hopefully, we'll know things that you haven't heard before. No further ado, my boy Paul Rodriguez, man.
Un placer. Placer estar aquí contigo.
Hey, brother, man. There's so many stories to you, man, that we can do chronological and how you got started and when the first time you were funny. But there's a story that I heard years ago when I first got started in comedy, man, and I've never heard you address this, and I don't think I've ever heard but I want to know if it's true because it comes from people that are really close to you. Did you really? Because I did the Tonight Show with Jay Leno, right? You know, when you're a young comic, that's the big deal.
It's a landmark,
right? And you did it with Johnny Carson.
It's true.
Okay, how many times did you do it with Johnny?
12 times with Johnny, once with Jay, and once with what's the name of this lady just passed away?
Rivers, Joan Rivers.
No, I didn't never do it with Joan Rivers. One of the Golden Girls. ¿Cómo se llama esta? Betty White.
Betty White?
Betty White,
okay.
yeah.
She hosted or?
She hosted it one time. I was doing an episode with her, and just by chance she asked me to be in it, and I said, well, maybe you have to ask Di Cordoba, or you have to ask them because I think I'm banned from there. Uh-huh. She goes, no, we just won't tell them. Just show up.
Okay, that's what I was going to address. I was going to ask you, what happened, man? Is it like was there animosity between you and Johnny Carson?
It's a very sad story, really. It's one of those forks in the road that you wish you would have made a better decision, but in hindsight, I don't regret it. Johnny Carson was very good to me, man. He was very good to me until that particular day. I guess he wasn't. I don't know what happened, but he just threw an insult that I didn't like, and.
What during when the cameras were rolling?
Yeah, it was at the break. There was a lady there named Samantha. She had a show called Lady Blue on ABC, I think.
Okay.
Sam's. What was her name? Sam's. Anyways, I had already done my set. I'm sitting over here, and they were talking, and Johnny said, "So is there a man in your life?" And I'm quiet, right? She said, no, but I'm looking, just to cabulear conmigo.
Right.
So I just smiled and I said, let's talk or something, some smart ass thing. And Johnny took offense to that, and he.
Why did he take offense? Can you tell me?
I don't know. I don't know. There were rules that I wasn't like trying to interject in the conversation or nothing, but during the commercial break, he basically told me to just sit there and shut up, And I went,
like that? And those words?
Like that and those words,
Hey, I want you to just sit there and shut up?
Yeah, and I don't know. I opened my mouth and I said, well, what? He goes, you heard? I said, hey, fuck you. I don't got to be here.
You told him like that? You told him, fuck you?
Yeah, I don't think many people have told Johnny Carson to fuck you, and I wish I hadn't, but it didn't go good after that, He basically was very insulted. I don't know if it was because of her or just how I felt about it, but yeah, it got that bad, and I regret using that language. I could have just sat there, but I don't know. I feel like I got deballed in a second, and at that point of mine, it really didn't matter, Willie. It really didn't matter. I have to wake up and shave every morning on the mirror, and there are things in our lives that you either. But it wasn't something that I instigated. That's what always hurt. I remember Jim McCauley telling me how bad it was, and at the time the manager I had was talking to me like my world was over, and I never really looked at it that way. It wasn't like I'll tell you another story that is related with this. He had such power that he had me banned from NBC studios, and that was really fucked up because there were a lot of places where you go audition for stuff, right?
Right.
So I remember I had friendship with Bob Hope, and I went to see Bob, and I told him the situation, and he says, "Yeah, Johnny has a tendency to be all about himself," something like that in his voice. And he said, "Don't worry, I'll take care of it." And that'll show you what kind of pull Bob Hope had, because after that, the guards, I was allowed to go into NBC, you know.
Okay.
And I remember one time I had parked my car. I went to audition for something, and Johnny has a parking space like that, and he came on. He looked at me like I was there just to, just to instigate him. I wasn't. I even felt like going, maybe you should go and apologize, but I thought about it, going, you just set yourself up for him to tell you to go fuck yourself again.
Right.
And this time nobody's around. I'm going to have to beat this old guy. Because the vato in you comes out.
Yeah.
And I just waved, and he looked at me like I was a piece of shit, and that's the last time I saw him. And it was sad because I remember flying back with Jay one time. He was about to get the Tonight Show, and he knew something about that something had gone down. He goes, "Don't worry, I'll get you on." And he kept his word. He did get me on once. And I appreciate that of him, but that's my story, man. How many times I've gotten in my head. I go, what if I would have just said, okay, Mr. Carson, I'm sorry, but it's just not in me. I think to thy own self be true, and whether for good or for bad, that was a decision that it had repercussions. I mean, the man had a lot of power, but soon after that, the Lord saw fit to call him home. And
I heard. Okay,
I promised him.
See, this is one of the things that I've heard. I don't know. I've heard that you said when he dies. Yeah.
I promised him that I would pee on his grave.
Did you?
And well, he was let go in the ocean, so as closest I could do is I went to Malibu the next day, and behind a rock, I had a couple of beers, and I pulled Mr. Happy out, and I said, "This bud's for you, Johnny." And I don't know if there's an afterlife, but I kind of wish there were, because I'd like to see his face. I like to keep my word,
Yeah.
Those are one of the sweet things I did. Yeah, that's one of the many mistakes I did. I never really had a temper, but there are a couple of things that's still in my life, I won't allow, and sometimes, your body can't cash those checks, but yeah.
But